Alright, in today's video I'm going to show you how to do a double bead rig for fishing with a bobber. I like using this rig to fish with a bobber. It's very effective. I will say check your state's regulations. Some states allow you to peg beads, some don't. But here where I fish, it's legal and I can fish with up to 5 hooks on a pole. But I fish a double bead rig. It just helps me cover more water. If you don't know the substrate of your river or the creek you're fishing, sometimes they vary. This double bead helps me cover more of that in the water column. If a fish is right down on the bottom, I might get him on this hook. If they're suspended up off the bottom a little bit, I have a hook that runs the bead a little higher. Good morning, everybody. Beautiful day here in Idaho. It's a sunny, nice day. I'm going to do a little project for you inside here. I'm going to give you a project on steelhead fishing, and we're going to call it How to Rig the Magic Deadly Double Bead Rig. Today we're using a crazy egg, the magic crazy egg. Of course our basting brush tip, a griffin threader. Today we're using Gamakatsu number 4 octopus hooks, Maxima Ultra Green 12-pound test line, and we're going to want to be using these little microplastic beads. These are, I believe these are 5mm, and of course I've got a Leatherman here to pinch the barbs on these hooks. Now on these crazy eggs, I'm going to show you. These are magic crazy egg. The nice thing I like about these eggs is they already have a hole in them. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a hole in this egg. That hole is for putting scent in there. But it works really good for what we're going to use. But it also has a little tail here, gives the egg action. I don't use those tails. I just cut them off. But we're going to need 2 of these beads because we're running a double beaded rig. I start out with a 44-inch piece of leader. Like I said, I'm using a number 12 Maxima. Basically, I'm just going to snell the hooks with an egg loop. There's a lot of videos out there on that. I'll zoom up on it so you can see how I do it. And then I'll show you how I thread the beads on and put them in place. All right, let's snell our first hook in our double bead system. Put my hook in my vise. I'm going to start my line up over my hook. It just comes out. I put it right in like this. I leave a little tag end out there on it. Then I'm just going to wrap it about 10 to 12 times. I like to do 12 loops because that gives me a little more space there for my eggs or any piece of bait I want to put in there. So I'm going to hold it with that finger. And I get the end of my line and I'm going to run it back through the eye this way. Okay. And I want that line to lay right over the top of the hook. Creates a loop right here. So I'm going to wrap it around the top of that loop just like that. Keep this out of the way. 6 times. Okay, now I hold it again with this finger. And then I'm going to pull my line down. I like to wet it a little bit, a little lubricant on there. And I just pull it through. And in the end, I want to make sure that my line is on the top of that hook. So when I put a piece of bait in there, it sits right up on top of that hook perfectly if I choose to drift a piece of egg or something on there as well. Okay, so remember we're going to run a double bead. We're going to tie a double bead rig. So I get the end of my line. I'm going to put on a small bead. This is a 5mm bead. And it pops right inside of that crazy egg just easily. Okay, so I put that on my line first. I'm going to run it down here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the end of my line so it's kind of sharp. All right, I lubricate it. I take my crazy egg and I put it in the hole of the crazy egg and I just push and twist my line through and it'll pop right out. Lubricate it and I just slide that bead right down there. Okay, now we're ready to put our second hook on this leader, so I'll show you how we do that. We're going to put our second hook in. Okay, and we're going to take our leader, and we want the end of the leader right here, and we're going to run it through the eye of the hook. Okay, so it started on our hook. I like about a 12-inch space between them, so I've got it measured here on my vise. I know about where I put it on my vise. Okay, so maybe you can see now that I've got that 12 inches piece right there. And then I'm going to snell this hook the same way as I did the first one. Alrighty, we got her snelled up. So next thing we do is we put our little bead on. Run that down our line. Take our crazy egg. Poke our line into the hole. Push it through the back of the bead. Slide it down on. If you can see that, I don't know if my camera will pick it up. I might have to back it up a little bit. That's a double bead rig. All right, the final thing is I'm going to show you how I peg my bead. I just cut off a couple of these little baster brush ends. Take my Griffin threader. And you can use a toothpick for this too. A lot of people use toothpicks, and if that's what you like to use, that's great. I don't prefer toothpicks because for me, I have to replace them all the time when they get wet and they dry out. I found once I used the rubber peg, this silicone peg, or there's some commercial ones out there you can buy. I think Trout Bead sells them. I don't have to replace those. So I put it in the end of my Griffin threader. And it goes through my bead. I'm just going to put that in my bead and pull it super slowly. It'll pull that silicone baster brush through my bead. Okay, you can see that's through the bead. Now I just squeeze it there, lubricate it, hang on to it, and just slide that into the bead. And just keep working that in until you get it nice and snug in there. Then I'm going to take my scissors and carefully trim it off on each side without nicking my line. Just like that. Now I'll lubricate that, and you can slide that crazy egg that has a pre-done hole in it. It'll just pop right inside. Still leaves a spot in there that you can put some scent in, but you're able to move that up and down your line. Works really well. Do the same on this one. Just start my little silicone brush into my Griffin threader, wet it down, and slowly just pull it through. Pinch that, lube it, just grab your bead. It's hard to see, I know, I'm sorry for that, but anyway, just pull it through like that. And we'll trim this one off on each side. Maneuver that bead wherever you want it. Moisten it and pop it right in your crazy egg. And there it is. All right, so that's how we do it. That's a double bead rig that I fish under a bobber. Very deadly, and it covers more in the water column, but it's pretty effective. Hope you liked this video. Hopefully there was something there that helped you out. Like I said, you can peg those with toothpicks or whatever you like to peg your beads with. But this works well for me. Anyway, it fishes great. So if you like this video, you know the drill. Go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share this video. If you want more notifications when I'm posting other videos, hit that bell. There'll be more coming. I'll show you how I store these, and I'll also show you how I rig these on a bobber. Those will be some upcoming videos. So thanks for watching.